some lyrical songs too that you dropped. You
Yeah,
dropped a
so
song called "Millionaire"
I
with the
dropped
visuals and
Millionaire.
all.
Yeah, that shit's gave like my most mixed review song ever, but that is what it is. Yeah, I had so much fun with that song. I had so much fun with that video.
Yeah, you explained on one of your posts like what that word means. You said it was like someone who has little to no money. Uh,
Yes.
like, why do you
So
relate to that,
so
or what makes
wrote
you
that
relate to that?
when I wrote that song, I had just I'm not gonna say lose because I had the option, but I left a full-time position. I wasn't in school. My car, I still drive an '06 Nissan. Like none of the car that you saw in that video was my car, except for the one I was sitting in. That was mine. So it's like I know how to dress, and I spent a lot like of this money that I earned from rap and going into rap. I put it back towards the music, and I put it back towards my image. So it's kind of like for me, especially at the start of my career, it's like those memes where they'd be like, "This guy's wears all the gear, but he can't play ball."
Yeah,
That was me when I first started. I had like the
like a
nicest
poser.
chain, the nice shoes, but my songs were a little whack. Now I'm back. I'm at a point now where it's like, I I still have all the shoes and the clothes and the chains, and now my music's starting to get actual attention. But with the amount of money that I'm fucking making and that's going back into this music shit, I'm literally piss broke. Like I'm paycheck to paycheck of an artist right now. Like I am
Okay.
like,
All the money
it's
that you earn and like you just reinvest it back into
I
yourself, pretty much.
I have been working since I was 16. I got the job maybe a few months before my first ever like song dropped. And at that time too, I wasn't even knowing what I was like doing. So I was just sending money out into a void thinking, "Oh, this will promote this. This will do good." And yeah. So I'm
Mm,
literally like at points still to now where it's fine because I'm getting through all the marketing aspects, so I'm back to like stacking the money up. But at the time, there was a lot of shit where it was like, "Oh, you're this way, you don't have this car, you don't have this amount of money, like you're not good enough," shit like that. And I was getting told that a lot, and I heard that beat, and I was just like, "Yo, what if I make like an anthem where it's like, yo, you don't like it's all right if you don't got it like that. It's all right if you're still rocking your fucking
yeah.
'06 Nissan. It's all right. Not everyone was born with that silver spoon in their mouth." And that's what another thing a lot of people I know might not understand is that while I came from the suburbs and while I grow up in the suburbs and shit like that, I feel like there's also this pi picture painted where like if you're from the burbs, you got some amount of money, like you're doing good. And while yeah, you're doing decent in those who grow up in poor neighborhoods, but I got the smallest house on the block, like type shit. Like my parents worked their
Mm,
ass off for me and my family to have like good education, be safe, shit like that. They don't they didn't grow up caring about how big my house is gonna be and what cars we're gonna drive, shit like that. This car is my
like
sister's old car. Like, I'm not materialistic. I like to look good. Like, I'll buy the chains and I'll buy a nice watch, but I'm not gonna go out and buy like 30 chains and 3 watches, and I need the newest shoes, I need the
overdo it.
newest this and that. You know what I mean? It's like I grew up where it was like, as long as you're healthy and as long as you're with like the people that actually care about you, you got your money. So I don't mind trying to achieve a dream, or I should say, I don't mind putting all my money that I'm earning towards the music. Like, yeah, I would fucking love to be driving around in a nice ass car right now. And if I took all the money that I made from work and fucking music combined over the years, I could be flexing on these motherfuckers right now. I do my taxes every year and I get sick because I see how much fucking money I put into this shit. It is not. People have this misconception where it's like, oh, you blow up overnight or some shit like that. I just started getting attention. Like it's like it takes years and it takes a lot of sweat, blood, money, and tears, and you're gonna put in way more than you're ever gonna give back. But that's the love of the game, and eventually, one day, if you're blessed, you'll get it back. And hopefully, I'm blessed enough to. I'm not saying I'll ever make it to the fucking tip top, but to get to the fucking to get on that mountain would be great.
Right there. Yeah. Okay. And what song put you on the map or made you like more
So
trending?
the song that got me actual attention was Empire. Uh, that song on my Whatever Happens Happens album, 20 I dropped that song as a single in December of 2021, and I dropped the album in 2022, and that shit got, like, a lot of attention. I think it's almost at 300,000 streams on Spotify. So,
Hmm. Just running it up right there.
yeah, that and then in the few months later, I dropped, Spazzin' with Neff the Pharaoh. And he's big over in the Bay. I don't know if you know him, but he's got songs like Snoop Dogg and Jeezy and shit. So they ate that up over there. And then
Okay.
it got me the attention, but I wasn't doing the Instagram reels and the face to face everything. So I was getting the attention, but it was like not lasting because no one could put a face to the artist. They're just like, all right, this is just another something to listen to, but I don't have a story behind this guy. I don't have anything.
Like who is he? Right.
Yeah, like if I started doing these reels and everything like 2 years ago, I don't know if I would have blown up by now, but I would definitely have a bigger fan base than I do right now. This fan base is just starting to grow, and I'm really grateful for it. But yeah, I feel like part of me feels like it's long overdue. Like it's so much.
Hmm. And you said you're 22 years old.
Yeah, 22. I'll be 23 in December.
Okay. So you still have like a lot to grow, or to even like just stamp yourself as like an artist in your city.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I have really good on my side is time. Hopefully shit can happen at a moment's notice, but if everything, goes how it's supposed to go in a lifespan, then yeah, I got a lot of time to be doing this and perfecting my craft, and I don't see
Yeah.
myself stopping because I don't see myself really wanting to do anything else.
Okay. So while you were in school, did you ever want to like do something in school? Maybe go to college?
So I'm actually back in college right now. I just started up again this semester. I was gone for like 3 years, 2 years. I took off. Man, I sucked at school. I hated school and I had bad experiences at school. So I started at college and it just wasn't for me, at least at the time. So I stopped. I started doing the music and working part time, and I saw that I was getting some of that attention, like we were talking about, but it wasn't enough to be like, all right, I can just do this. So I started looking for a full time job. I got a full time job. I was a manager, and then shit went south. Fucking
What were you
whatever.
managing?
I was a department manager in a grocery store. So I was like the called shop from home. I don't know if you guys have anything like that wherever you're from, but where are you from?
Yeah, I'm in California.
Oh, California. Oh, fuck, yeah, there's no ShopRites out there, but you guys definitely got, like I always wanted to go to Cali. I'm sure you guys got, like, Walmart. Like, you guys like, Walmart's
Yeah,
everywhere.
we got
So,
Walmart out here.
it's like that curbside shit. It's like you order online, they'll go grab you the item, and then you just go and pick it up. Like, I was managing that,
Hmm.
but for at a grocery store.
All
So
right, and like, what led you to like leaving, or what happened?
so I'm still with the company. I'm just over at a different location now, and I'm not a manager. So I still got good things to say about the company. It was something with that particular store. I'm not gonna really get into it, but there was a lot of shady shit that was going on, and they mistreated me very poorly. But that person that was mistreating me ain't even in management position no more, so it don't fucking matter.
Shit. So, were they like just
Yeah,
talking
I got
shit or putting too much stress on you,
I
or
mean, it
what?
was like that, all that shit for months, but that shit I can take. Like I don't care if you're gonna stress me out or talk shit or whatever. I make music. That I get that every day. But but nah,
Yeah, it doesn't even bother you.
I ended up getting sick, and they were trying to tell me that it was gonna be a problem if I didn't show up to work. I wasn't gonna be able to take my vacation. I also had, like, a cancer scare, like, back in
Damn.
March, and they brought that up into it. They're like, "Oh, we gave you the time off for that." Like, they were being such courteous to do, and, but I was,
What do
like,
you mean by
genuinely
what
like,
do
I
you mean
feel
by
like if you
cancer scare? Like,
so I
you
got
thought you had cancer?
yeah, they thought I had melanoma, maybe. So, like Bob Marley, you know how he had, like, that black streak in, like, his fucking nail?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Art.
I had that shit. So I was like, "Ah, fuck," and I had it for a while, and it was, like, fading, though, so I wasn't, like, too worried about it, but it got to a point where I was just like, "Let me just make sure." I think because that was around when that Bob Marley documentary came out, and I was just like, "You know what?
Got you like off him, or
I'm not gonna go out like this." So I went and got the biopsy done and everything, and everything's fine. But yeah, so they were so I got sick and they were trying to say that like it was gonna be a problem that I was sick, what not coming to work. They're like attendance, so like we were counting on you, this and that. And so I was scared to lose my job. I went into work on that next Monday. I took the weekend off to just try to like recover. I walk in on Monday, doctors know, and they're like scoffing at it and shit. And then like 2 hours later, they're like, all right, like people are complaining like you're sick, like we gotta send you home. And I was just like, yo, what the fuck? And then that after that, I
yeah.
was just like, after all that, and then to like be threatening my position and like making me think I'm gonna do shit and lose shit, I was just like, you know what, fuck this. I'm gonna go back to school. So I stepped down. I'm part time now. I'm going back to school, and I would like to work in HR if this music doesn't work out. But hopefully the music works out.
Hmm, I see. Yeah, and yeah. Tell me about your upbringing. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in a small town in New Jersey. Um, my upbringing is nothing really, I would say, special. I grew up. It was my parents and my sister. My sister's 8 years older than me. Um, a lot of the time, and I've been told this. So when she was when my sister was in like high school and college and everything, that was when I was kind of becoming a teenager, and that's when you kind of need someone to lean on probably the
Yeah, yeah.
most. And because my sister was going through a hard time at the time, my parents were like paying more attention to her, which they should have, because at the time her shit was a lot deeper than mine. But with that said, there was a lot of stuff that I kind of had to raise myself with. And then when it came time in high school for me, because my sister has a lot of like that anxiety and shit, and I used to watch her have these anxiety attacks and shaking and crying. And I used to be a little ignorant prick and not understand what was going on. So I used to be like, "Why are you crying? Like, get over it. It's fine." Like this and that. And then when I was 15, 16,
You understood more.
I started getting that anxiety, that fucking like
Oh,
OCD
it started happening
thoughts,
to you.
the depression, and I was just like, fuck.
Yeah.
So I mean, but to go along with the upbringing, like middle school, I was pretty much outcasted. I wouldn't necessarily say bullied or harassed or anything. Come high school, it started off okay. Then it starts becoming the bully and harassment. It got really fucking bad, and that's what there's good and bad in it because the,
You were getting bullied, or you were
yeah,
bullying?
yeah, no, I was getting bullied, and
Oh,
it's good and bad because I mean, yeah, at points, ironically enough, it was never the bullying or the harassment or the constant like when I tell you constant, I mean like I had to change my phone numbers, emails, everything. Everything had to change. Like it was
shit.
24/7. It was in school, out of school, work, home,
What
you
made
fucking
like
name it.
what made like people want to like do all that, like
To this day,
even message you?
I don't know. I think it just has to do with the music, man. I think people wanted to just get under my skin. And I think a lot of it was people just didn't like me. I don't know if it was how I was coming off at the time, or maybe I was just too real for them, or maybe I am just an asshole to them. I guess I don't fucking know. But no, they used to do wild shit, and it got to a point where I was like, couldn't even stand up for yourself. You know, when so many people are against you, it's like, all right, like I can't go on and fight this one bully because 8 others are gonna fucking have some shit to say or fucking get me is whatever.
Yeah, I was
I
gonna
can't
ask you.
I can't defend myself because it's like at this point I don't even know like who the fuck's even talking at this point. Let's say everybody. But
Yeah, you end up like getting jumped or something like
yeah,
that.
and it's like, yeah, I would rather just eat shit and be safe than try to stand up against the world. But
Yeah, most deaf.
I mean, that shit really taught me though how to have thick skin and eventually taught me how to stand up for myself. I just had to take it on the chin a little bit a few times first. But nah,
What
ironically,
what was
the
the
shit
point?
that was making me like anxious and fucking suicidal and shit, that's just all my own head. That's my own anxiety. Like, I don't know, it goes so deep. There's so much layers to what goes on in this fucking head of mine.
This was all happening during college, or right
Fucking
before that?
high school. College, I went to college and I was fine at college. Like the people were fine, my experience was fine. I just didn't enjoy it. Like I didn't want to be there. But I went back now and like I don't want to say like I enjoy being there, but I'm glad that I got over that fear. Because there was a little bit of fear in me every time I would think of a classroom. I would be thinking of walking into getting fucking punked or like looked at or fucking like
Yeah.
silenced off, outcasted. Every
Were
time
you
I
always
walked
in that
into
like
some, I
hero
was always headphones
mode,
on,
like
like head
fighting?
down, like if you're not my friend, don't talk to me. I don't have many friends, so if I lose these friends, I'm alone. I lost those friends, I was alone. Like shit like that. Like and
Oh,
I don't know. They just it was shit.
you didn't like you just hung by yourself pretty much. You didn't really talk to anyone. Is that like
Yeah,
how you
and
are
like
still?
the people that I was fine with, we weren't friends. We were just kind of like, all right, I see you every day, so hi type
Equating it,
shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel that. And did that like lead to more what's it called, mental health problems? Because I know like
Oh, for
just
sure. Yeah, cause
keeping to yourself,
you
not
got the, like,
socializing.
generalized yeah, you got, like, the generalized anxiety, the fucking pure OCD thoughts already going through your head, and now you gotta deal with the fucking bullies, harassment. Not even just the bullies and harassment, but when it comes from the people that were closest to you, it's a loss as well. So now you're grieving the fucking loss of friends. Now you're getting
Yep,
fucking harassed and bullied and shit by those people, and then,
it's all piling up.
it was one of those things too where it's like, all right, I don't like you, so now I'm gonna recruit 3 other of my friends to not fucking like you, and now we're gonna recruit the rest of the school to not fucking like you. So, I
What
was
made you not
always
want to like change schools, or like you could have just changed
I
schools or
didn't
whatever?
wanna give them the satisfaction of them making me leave.
Mm,
I would've rather
okay.
ate shit till the end instead of leaving schools and then basically getting them what they want. I don't play
All
like
right,
that.
you just dealt with it.
Yeah, it's like, listen, this is gonna suck for me and gonna make me want to fucking die, but I would rather fucking want to die than ever see you get that. Like you're already laughing in my face while making fun of me. I'm not gonna give you that victory laugh of, oh, he's gone now. We made him leave type shit. It was like, nah,
Yeah. You-
like I'm gonna stay. Like this is my school too.
Um, did you deal with all this clear-minded, or did you ever get into any drugs, paraphernalia, any sorts of that?
Oh, I'm a pothead for sure, dude. Like there's no doubt about. Actually, I just came back from the dispo today. Yeah, man. Uh, so I actually didn't even start smoking until I was like 18, and that was kind of actually by the time that happened, most of the bullying and shit and my anxiety surpassed.
All
I'm really
faded
just
away.
yeah. I wouldn't say fade away because like I still deal with it. Like it's not something that goes away. Like obviously, like the bullies and shit, like they can eat shit. I don't give a fuck no more. But
Yeah.
the anxiety and everything, and the shit that comes from getting bullied, like the deeper shit, like the trust issues, stuff like that. I still deal with that to this day. It takes a
On
lot for me to
psychological.
trust. Yeah, it takes a lot for me to trust. It takes a lot for me to just kind of open my mind up to the idea of like letting someone else in a circle. Like if you're not here now, like now I got a good solid crew. So like
Uh,
you want to be part of that crew, it's like you got to earn your fucking trust because
gotta
I'm
know
not
who
looking
you
to make
are.
friends no more. Like I got my friends. Like
You released Finger One, uh, or Finger 1 year ago. What inspired the art cover?
so actually that was Pablo who released that. So The song's actually Twitter Fingers.
You
We just
posted
had
it
an
on.
issue. Yeah, it's for both of ours fingers. It was a
Uh,
collab release. I couldn't tell you what really inspired. Well, actually, I probably could because a lot of this was directed by Pablo, but it was a diss track from. I mean, it's dead in the water now. And honestly, the guy that we dissed, we started dissing him because one, he was just a punk kid who just wouldn't stop running his mouth. But two, and we knew him personally, so it's not just like some online beef. We on But for Pablo, Pablo was like handing out backpacks to kids in his neighborhood. And when you got like a punk kid
giving
saying
up.
something all the time and then does like that one other thing that like is like sets it off, that's what this guy did. So he started making fun of Pablo for giving out to his neighborhood and trying to call Pablo poor and shit. Like it was like some dumb shit. Like it almost don't even make
Just
sense.
being a troll.
Yeah, but it got to a point where it was like, all right, like just shut the fuck up. And since they were in the music scene too, it was only like fitting that it was like, all right, we we don't just let's make let's make a track. So Pablo did his part and he sends it to me. And since I also knew these people personally and they fucking pissed me off as well, I was like, fuck it, let's get them. And I couldn't tell you where they are now.
Did they make a diss track back?
Uh, yeah. So the the main guy didn't because he was like he used to make music, but he fucking sucked, so he stopped. And I mentioned that in my fucking shit. But his artist, who is actually a decent artist, who we also know, he made the diss track back. I don't know if it's still up, but it wasn't even really like it was more of a song than a diss track. So he probably thinks he wins. I actually don't have a problem with him personally. I think he's a good artist. I think he's just an asshole as well, but
Hmm. Yeah.
it's
Did this
showbiz,
lead to
baby.
any more agreements or anything serious? Like,
Nah,
or
nah,
anyone
nah.
getting hurt?
No, I'm kind of past that point. When I was in that vision for Fingers, what was that like 2023 and 2022? Probably when it was recorded. That I was more hungry, and I just wanted kind of like the attention. I'm an uncle now. Like I'm not looking for no petty beefs, shit like that. Like I've grown. I'm
Just
more
trying to
into
lay
like
back.
my family, like. And I know that's weird to say when I'm 22, like, but I look at my family and I look at like what I've accomplished so far. And it's like I like going out and I like having fun and I like going to the club and I like being an uncle and being with my family and having all these different outlets. It's like I'm not trying to I'll never. First off, I'll never start a beef. Like I'll never just randomly diss. But if you diss me, I'm gonna fuck you up lyrically. It's fine. But it don't gotta get deeper than rap. Like I'm not here for that. It's like
Yeah, you're not trying to do all that. Get into that
and
violence.
if it ever got to that point, it's like, man, that shit's not even worth it to me. It's like I got other shit I'd rather take care of than worrying about what the fuck someone's saying about me on a beat or on Twitter or shit like that.
Yeah, you feel like you don't have to watch out for none of that. Feel like maybe
Yeah.
other people hating or coming
Like
after
shit,
you.
if someone wants to diss me on a record and go toe to toe on a record, like I'll go toe to toe. But if they want to do like that old school type beef where it's like, yo, pull up here, it's like, yo, if you want to say I'm not about that,
You're
you're
good
right.
on
I'm
all
not
that.
about like I'm good on that, bro. Like
Yeah.
I say it in my songs. I've said it on so many songs now where it's like, I'm not no thug, I'm not no gangbanger, but if you wanna scrap, I'll scrap. Like, I'll stand up for myself, which I know is ironic considering of the stories I told you about in high school, but that's where it comes from. It's like, I couldn't stand up for myself back then. Not only were the kids fucking bigger than me, but there was like fucking 30 of them. I'm gonna die. Like, it's gonna be like that.
Yeah,
But
it's like unfair.
it's like, yo, if you wanna go like one on one, like we can fight. Like I'll stand up for myself, but to go deeper than a little scrap is like I'm good on that. Like if you want to call it a dub, if you quote unquote win, go for it. If I'm a pussy for that, then I'm a pussy. I would rather be a pussy than dead, I guess. So
Yeah. You performed at the for Cyber Cafe. How was that experience?
that experience, damn, you did your fucking research. Yeah. That was a great experience. So that's where actually we met the people we dissed, me and Pablo. That's actually where I met Pablo in person and a bunch of other artists. That was my first ever performance. And to have like my first ever performance, I'm headlining in a whole different state. That was great. And it was a lot to learn too. I was given good tips after my performance. Cause there's video of it. You can see like in that performance, there's more like I'm looking more off to like the side as I'm performing, not making as much
Yeah, you're
eye
not
contact with the crowd.
used to
Compared to
and
when you
all.
see
Huh?
my second performance that I did over in Absalom. At Absalom, I fucking, you know, eye contact, like more energy, shit like that. And I'm way more proud of that performance, but I'm so happy that the the Four Cyber Cafe one went how it did, and it's still one of my favorite nights to this day, even though it was like over 2 years ago.
How was the crowd? Like, were they filling it?
Yeah, the crowd was great, dude. The crowd was feeling it. The hype, the DJ was feeling it. We had a we had this. The host was feeling it. It was a great vibe. The only guy that fucking that I'll 100% say, like, we all did our thing, but we all got fucking washed out of the water by this artist, Von Wave. Motherfucker started dancing and shit on the top of the bar. It's like, dude, how the
He
fuck
was
am I
like doing
gonna?
that extra.
It's
Like,
like,
yeah,
nah,
how am
but
I gonna top
it
this?
was yeah, I guess it's extra, but it like fit the theme of the song and shit. Like this motherfucker had everyone dance. Like, yo, fuck you, I gotta follow that up. It's like
Yeah,
it's
like
like, dude,
damn,
you're like one of the first performers. Fuck you. You just ruined it for everybody. That
shit.
shit was fun though.
So you ended up learning from that, and like, did you end up like stepping up your game more? Maybe your performances.
Yeah, I mean, I only ever had one other performance than that. That was the one at Absalom, and it was shorter. It was only like 4 songs instead of a whole set. But I would say I stepped it up because all that was really critiqued was my eye contact and like facing the crowd. And I feel like I accomplished that on my second performance. So there wasn't really much more I would change other than maybe I would only have one shot instead of two before I walked up there because I was kind of stumbling over some words. And I think that's why that one guy had me do it a cappella, the too easy. But I fucking nailed that shit.
That's right.
But
And
yeah.
none of that like anxiety hit you at that time, like during those 2 times you performed.
So that the first time was fucking anxiety city, dude. I was fucking terrified, and when I got up there, it wasn't bad, but I was still, like, got the jitters. By the second performance I mean, the second performance, I had some liquid courage, but I had liquid courage for the first one too, so I can't fucking the second performance, I wasn't nervous. The second performance, I was like I went up there with the mentality, it's like, "I'm either gonna fucking kill it or they're not gonna fuck with it. But it is what it is. Like I got my
Either way.
homies in the crowd, like I'm chilling. I'm having a good time. And
All right.
that's all it really is, man, is just having a good time.
Yeah, most def. And like, would you consider yourself more of a freestyler or a writer?
I'm definitely more of a writer. I can freestyle sometimes, but it's weird. My boy Noble, who I got a song Rescue Me with, and I got two more songs coming with him on my album. He's the one who's really trying to teach me really how to freestyle and taught me what I do know now. He's really good. I'm more of a writer. I can get in the zone sometimes when it comes to freestyling, but I think part of my problem is I overthink it, or I try to get too complex with the freestyle to the point where I'm like fucking up my words. But yeah,
Hmm, I see. You got to put more work in and all.
yeah, I gotta put more work into my freestyles and practice that.
You released the line 1 month ago featuring DDK. What was your situation like when you were making that song?
Pretty similar, if not worse, than when I started writing Millionaire. Um, I remember I remember writing the line, at least my verse and the hook for it. It's probably like just 3 a.m. on some random night over the past summer after, everything that I said. Millionaire was written before the line, if that helps put anything in perspective. So by the time I was writing the line, it was like, like I quite literally this album that I got is going to be like this has to take off. Like this has to work. I'm putting everything I got on the line, figuratively
Oh,
and literally.
let's see. What made you want to work with DDK?
And me and DDK, we've been in contact since 2019, long before um he blew up. He's always been great, and we always talked about doing a collab. But it was one of those things where it was like we're not gonna force a collab. Like if it's gonna happen, it's gotta happen naturally. It's gotta be like, I hear this song, I hear you on this song, let's do it. And when I heard the beat for the line, I was like, this kind of feels like a DDK beat. And then when I wrote my part, I was like, oh, this is definitely DDK. So I hit him up and fucking
Sent it through.
history. Yeah.
Would you put him on more of your tracks or up and coming
Yes, sir.
projects?
We got some in the vault.
That's
We
right.
got
That's
one in the
right.
vault.
You released an album called "Sorry I'm Like This" in 2023. You dropped the track "Duct Tape." What made you want to put that song on the project?
That song kind of like the Millionaire. I just wanted to have fun. I heard that beat and I just started. That first verse was me and my friend. We were freestyling back and forth to each other, and we were just I was kind of telling him that like whatever I say, just write it down on the notes. And so that first verse was a freestyle that I did while driving home from work, and I'm sure he's got like his writer credits on there. I'm sure he's got like a fucking line or two that were his. And then that second verse, I wrote it. But nah, yeah, that was kind of just one of those have fun songs.
All right. Do you be ghostwriting at all for other artists?
I do not, and I actually been asked to, and I turned it down. It's not something that interests me. I feel like I want to establish myself, and I'm always down to help in the writing room, but I'm not down to put my all into your work and then watch it
and
blow
give
up,
it to you.
and then I'm in the
Yeah.
fucking back scene, like, doesn't interest me.
Um, you see yourself more as like the
I
head
see myself
performer,
as yeah, like,
like
if I'm writing it, I'm performing it type shit, which is
I
vice
see.
versa too, because it's like the other on the other podcast, the guy asked me if it was my lyrics. It's my lyrics. I write it all. I don't have no ghostwriter. Because if I had a ghostwriter or needed help writing, I shouldn't be doing this in the first place. But with that
Uh,
said, if I'm with the boys and we're spitballing ideas back and forth, I'll give them credit for the line. If I'm listening to something from an artist that I highly respect and he has a line that I think I could flip it and make it not my own line, but like a way of his, I'll do it and I'll give him credit for it. But it's not but I'm not gonna be paying nobody to write me a song so I can go spit
yeah.
it. That's not how I'm doing it.
Yeah. Do you feel like those artists that do it are like fake, or do you just don't mind? Like it's to each his own.
I think public opinion is to each its own, but I think you can't there's no way that you can feel as fulfilled having somebody else write something for you unless they made it with the intention of you doing it. Like if someone's out here writing a song and then they got a hook and then they're like, "Can you sing the hook?" I think that's fine. But if you're like a rapper that just has no interest in even trying to fucking put any words down, and you're just like,
Yeah.
"I want a song about this, this, and that, make it happen." And then you just throw money towards somebody. You're not an artist, dude. You
You
you're
just want to
you
call
could
yourself an artist, pretty much.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel that. Um, what image do you want, like the audience or people that listen to your music, perceive, perceive of you or not?
Back in the day, I want to be perceived as like someone you should fear, like lyrically, like some shit like that. Nah, I just want to be myself. I just want to relax. I just want to have fun, show my talent, hope to achieve a dream, and just show the world who I am, really.
All right. Yeah, I feel that. You got any album that you're working on that's coming out like in a later date,
Yes,
maybe
sir.
this year?
I, the album's not coming this year. I can tell you, I got a single coming in November off the album, and I got one more coming as well as a feature in December. And then I'm dropping the album in January, and I will make the official date and announcement once everything's all finalized.
Yeah, that's what's up. Do you have a name for the album?
Yeah, it's called You Wouldn't Understand.
Any features?
I got a good amount of features. Nothing I'm talking about right now.
Producers?
The biggest one's Kato. So I worked with a lot of different producers. Uh, the big name on there is Kato for the Millionaire track.
Oh yeah, Fire Beat too.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I heard that shit and I was just like, oh man, I could actually go like lyrical on this.
Yeah, that song was fire. Um, what song would you say is like your most favorite, like of yours?
My most favorite song changes all the time of mine. I would say it's got to be probably the next song that I release. But my favorite song that I have out right now, I would say Clouds. Clouds or Clouds or Whoa. I feel like those are
That's right.
two of my best songs.
Five, five. On one of your posts, you said you don't follow trends. Would you say that you start trends? Like, is that the reason why?
One of my posts, I'm sorry.
Yeah, one of your posts, you said you don't follow trends. But would you say that you're like you start trends yourself, or is that
Oh, I
you
know
just
exactly what post
get
you're
into
talking about. Oh, I was just quoting fucking Corday. Corday's another great rapper. He's got a song, I don't follow trends, I swing the pendulum. But yeah, I mean, I don't like being a follower. I like just doing what I want to do, and if people want to fucking hate or love me for it, I would rather be hated for what I am than loved for something I'm not. So
Yeah, you heard it first from M. Words or advice you give to the youth?
don't hesitate to put your face out there with your talent to help gain that attraction, and don't give up on your talent. If there's something you really want to do, fuck them if they make fun of you, if they clown you, if they tell you can't do it, if they tell you you're shit. Yeah, just keep pushing it. Because even if it's like me, where they used to tell me I was shit, and I used to fucking think I wasn't, and now I listen back on like my old records, I'm like, wow, that was shit. That's all part of the growth, and you're gonna grow through it. You only fail when you give up, so just keep doing it.
Yep, you heard it first from M. Hunt. Fire interview. Yeah, y'all tap in for the next one. Go get your merch, spokenwords.com, and we out of here.
Yes, sir.
This is
Thank
dope.
you. Peace.
Y'all tap in. Podcast coming this Sunday. You already know that. Yeah.
Peace, buddy.
No time, no time, no time to prove what. No time, no time, no time.
Fuck all that, nigga. We turn it up, so I just had to rebuild the studio from scratch.
Like all my life type shit.
But yeah.
You already know that dank straight gas.